Welcome everyone to the Urantia book. We're going to do a reading on personality. But before I start with that, I want to give you this good one-liner to write on your heart and embed in your mind. Inherent in every evil is the seed of its own destruction. So as soon as something becomes too associated with evil, it divorces itself from reality, which is spiritual reality, and then it just ceases to exist as an entity in the universe. A good example would be a gambling addict. They might be betting $50,000 a hand and riding high, but then they bet the house on the hand, and then they lose, and they can no longer gamble. So they've destroyed that. Same thing goes with a drug addict. Lead you to an early grave. The data is out here on this planet. Same thing goes with poor dietary choices. Early grave. Now, collectively, we'll see the same exact thing happening, and that's what we're seeing with these climate disasters. Mankind has been too associated with materialism, divorcing ourselves from spiritual reality. Now, I see it within my own life, but I'm not egregious about it where I would lie to an entire population of people, or I would try to mislead them with their understanding of scientific data just so I could make billions on my industry. So that is what is happening. We're seeing the seed of its own destruction, and we're just getting started here, folks. But remember, this book, Coming to the Divine, having a real spiritual transformation, it might not necessarily be about what you accomplish in this life because you're up against it. You're living in this world system of things that's rigged against you for the powerful, and we're truly born in a world system of things with all of its evil machinations fully in place. So you are up against it. So we'll try to change the world. We might not succeed, but it's more about what we're going to be saved out of. Okay? That could manifest itself during this life, and you'll say, geez, I had a change of heart. I'm not going through these same things that I look around and see other people going through. Or it might take until the next life. At some point, you're going to breathe a sigh of relief, and you're going to remember that statement. Wow, it's what I've been saved out of. So keep that in mind. We don't have to, wring our hands trying to fix everything, solve everything. We'd like to. We do what we can. But take a sigh of relief because you're being saved out of things as you become spiritual. You're putting on that armor. The beings that are controlling this world already have sold their souls. They know that there's no afterlife for them. They've got the riches and the powers here, and they're going to keep it. That's all they have. They don't have an eternal career unfolding before them. So they'll do anything to keep it. They'll kill any thousands, millions. It doesn't matter to them. That's all they have, and they're going to keep it. So, but if we start to wake up, then we can... Eventually, it's either going to self-destruct, but the Urantia book points out that it says systems perish and worlds do run down, as in even many, many worlds, which would make up a system, many, many stars, okay, make up a system, and worlds perish as well. So there is allotment made for the destruction of a planet. They will not let the life be destroyed on a planet, human life that has evolved from the level of animals up to the level of human is a very precious thing in the universe of universes, and they will, as the Urantia book points out, transport beings to another planet ready to go of favorable conditions. So it's all accounted for in the universe, but why should we let the planet run down? Another thing I heard from a great spiritual teacher is that this world is like the Titanic. It's already a sinking ship. It's already going down, but it's about how many we can save off of that ship. And that's where this book comes in. So I know long spiel today, but we're going to look at personality in the universe. Please like and subscribe for the videos. We got the most advanced wisdom on the planet here, hands down. Whenever I see any other types of readings or people do, their philosophies and things like that, I'm just like, man, it's child's play compared to the Urantia book. And let's check it out. Don't take my word for it. Listen to this. Personality in the universe. Human personality is the time-space image shadow cast by the divine creator personality. And no actuality can ever be adequately comprehended by an examination of its shadows. Shadows should be interpreted in terms of the true substance. Okay, so they're saying we have to relate to God, and if we want to understand our own personalities, we have to understand the divine personality. God is to science a cause, to philosophy an idea, to religion a person, even the loving heavenly Father. God is to the scientist a primal force, to the philosopher a hypothesis of unity, to the religionist a living spiritual experience. Okay? Religionist, you can, nowadays, we don't like the term religion a lot of times in the spiritual community because we think that means that you're kind of slavishly bound to something. They use that word as kind of a synonym to how we would say, oh, I'm spiritual but not religious. Okay? They don't have the negative connotation onto religion. They just mean somebody who's having this, a living spiritual experience. Man's inadequate concept of the personality of the universal Father can be improved only by man's spiritual progress in the universe and would become truly adequate only when the pilgrims of time and space finally attain the divine embrace of the living God on paradise. Okay, so as you progress in the universe, and how do you progress? Doing the will of the divine, right? Starts as a faith walk, do the will of the divine, exchange vices for virtues, self-mastery. You progress, you learn more about what this nature is of divinity, and then you actually know that. Never lose sight of the antipodal viewpoints, I'm not sure what that word means, antipodal, of personality as it is conceived by God and man. Man views and comprehends personality, looking from the finite to the infinite. God looks from the infinite to the finite. Man possesses the lowest type of personality, God the highest, even supreme, ultimate, and absolute. Therefore, did the better concepts of the divine personality have patiently to await the appearance of improved ideas of human personality, especially the enhanced revelation of both human and divine personality in the Urantia bestowal life of Michael, the Creator's Son. That was our bestowal that we call Jesus of Nazareth. And that was the personality of both human and divine, perfectly coordinated within one. So here it says there's aspects of this that, your finite man, it's beyond your finite man. So when we say personality of God, don't think of like, what do they call it? The daddy in the sky daddy, as atheist people that are mocking religionists say. It's so absolute. It's so beyond comprehension. But there is the simple aspect of it, which is just you can love and be loved. Simple relationship, it goes from the simple, it has that, to the complex, and you can get as deep with it as you want. That's up to you. The pre-personal divine spirit which indwells the mortal mind carries in its very presence the valid proof of its actual existence. But the concept of this divine personality can be grasped only by the spiritual insight of genuine, personal religious experience. Okay, so you can't tell anybody about it, but once you experience it, then you say, okay, that's it. Now I know, I know that this is a reality. And that's why more than half of the world believes in this quote-unquote sky daddy. Any person, human or divine, may be known and comprehended quite apart from the external reactions or the material presence of that person. Any person, human or divine, may be known and comprehended quite apart from the external reactions of the material presence. Okay, right. Okay? We know somebody, even when we hang up the phone, right? I'm not in the material presence of them, but I am knowing still that person. I can think about their personality. Some degree of moral affinity and spiritual harmony is essential to friendship between two persons. Think about it, two computers. Are they having a real, true, genuine friendship like you are? I mean, people that are super into AI might say, oh, well, we can program, and you wouldn't even know the difference. But if you truly understand personality in relation to God, then you'll realize and understand that that's just dead matter. Spiritual personality is living. It has the potential for eternity. It has the potential for God attainment. Those things are not personalities. They're programs. They don't have the potential for God attainment. A loving personality can hardly reveal himself to a loveless person. That's so amazingly true. People if they've closed off to the concept of love, then how can they understand that there's a loving God helping them at every turn or wanting to? except they might close off and not realize it. Even to approach the knowing of a divine personality, all of man's personality endowments must be wholly consecrated to the effort. Half-hearted, partial devotion will be unavailing. That's why Jesus said he wants 100%ers, right? He said, I want you either lukewarm, or no, I want you either hot or cold, not lukewarm and vacillation, right? The universe doesn't know what to do with that. If you are cold, then at least they'll know what to send in your, in your path. The more completely man understands himself and appreciates the personality values of his fellows, the more he will crave to know the original personality. And the more earnestly such a God-knowing human will strive to become like the original personality. You don't even want to think these things. You might think, oh, nobody's watching. I can think all these sordid things in my mind. I'm not writing it. I'm not putting it out there. But you don't even want to entertain those ideas when you start to know, right? If you weren't a spiritual person, maybe you're just a secular humanist, well, you're just saying, well, geez, I'm not actually broadcasting my negative ideas and I'm treating people fairly, so it doesn't matter if I hold them. Well, it does matter because there is God within you, there's your heart and soul is what's in question here, not just how you're going to behave when you're writing, a blog post or something. You can argue over opinions about God, but experience with him and in him exists above and beyond all human controversy and mere intellectual logic. See, eventually you just can't do anything else, folks, except I know because I've had the experience. That's all I can offer you. Observe my life. See how I changed. I got over alcohol. I started treating people fairly, trying to get better in other areas. The God-knowing man describes his spiritual experiences not to convince unbelievers, but for the edification and mutual satisfaction of believers. Right. I don't try to convince. It's not about that. I wouldn't even want to convince somebody, because if I convinced them, they didn't have that whole soul change of heart. To assume the universe can be known, that is, intelligible, is to assume that the universe is mind-made and personality managed. Man's mind can only perceive the mind phenomenon of other minds, be they human or superhuman, if man's personality can experience the universe. Then there is a divine mind and actual personality somewhere concealed in that universe, right? Because we say that phrase, oh, the universe was smiling upon. It's really personality that's smiling upon you, right? Because where would personality come from if there wasn't an original creator of personality? A computer couldn't create it. Gravity or some, what's the word? Force of nature. God is spirit. Spirit personality. Man is also spirit. Potential. That's the key thing to understand. Our difference between us and God. We are potential spirit personality. But right now we're a personality. Jesus of Nazareth attained the full realization of this potential of spirit, personality, and human experience. Therefore, his life of achieving the Father's will becomes man's most real and ideal revelation of the personality of God. So you have to achieve the Father's will. Now, you think the Father's will would be lie to hundreds of thousands of people so that you can make $1 billion and, get your particular industry? No, the Father's will is about love all, share all with all, okay? Sharing is a divine ideal. Greed is not. But you could be balanced about it. You don't have to be like, all right, well, then communism and nobody owns anything. See, man has no sense of proportion. We always just think it's got to be one swing or the other. No. Have a sense of proportion when approaching these things, but don't throw out the ideals of things like sharing. Will become the most real and ideal revelation of the personality of God. Even though the personality of the universal Father can be grasped only in actual religious experience, in Jesus' earth life we are inspired by the perfect demonstration of such a realization and revelation of personality of God in a truly human experience. So it's saying humans can have those religious experiences. Jesus was having them. Maybe you have had them. And that, when you do, you will understand the power, too, of God. And you realize, geez, this world, even though there's all this destruction and everything going on, I can breathe a sigh of relief. That's not a reality for me. It's what we've been saved out of here, right? It might not be what we accomplish. Might not be able to turn the world tide in one, short life in the flesh. But we're surely going to be saved out of all those hardships. And you might not know it now, or maybe you do, but when something comes down the pipeline and you're sighing a sigh of relief saying, yeah, I'm really glad that I chose spirituality. I'm not going through what they're going through out there, in the non-spiritual material realms. All right, folks, so that's the reading for today. And thank you so much for checking it out. Please make sure you like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. We'll get the word out there. And take care.